All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a pretty huge claim that one simple mental practice can get rid of the vast majority of your worries. I know, it sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, let's dive in and see.
And that's really the question, isn't it? Is it actually possible for one single technique to have such a massive, profound impact on our inner world? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Okay, let's just let that sink in for a second. 90%. I mean, that is a huge number. It's suggesting a life that's almost totally free from the grip of stress and anxiety. But where does a number like that even come from? So let's be real for a moment. That 90% figure, it's probably not from some super precise, peer-reviewed study, right? It's more like a metaphor. But it's a really powerful one because it points to a deep truth about the incredible power we have to change the relationship we have with our own minds.
So, to really get our heads around this claim, we gotta understand the practice at the heart of it all. And it really just boils down to one simple but seriously powerful skill: the art of just noticing.
And this practice has a name: self-observation. Now, this isn't about analyzing yourself or judging yourself or trying to fix anything. Nope. It's more like becoming a curious, neutral witness to what's going on inside you. Just noticing your thoughts, your feelings, and even physical sensations as they pop up and pass by without getting all tangled up in them. Here's a great way to think about it. You know, most of the time, we're kind of caught in this big river of thoughts and feelings, just getting swept away by every little current. Well, self-observation is like taking a step out of the river and onto the shore. From there, you just watch it all flow by. You still see all the same currents, but you're not at their mercy anymore.
All right, so we get what it is, but the big question is, how on earth does just noticing stuff actually rewire the way we experience worry? Let's take a look at the mechanics behind why this is so effective.
Well, it turns out there are 5 key ways this whole thing works. It helps us break free from those knee-jerk reactions. It shows us that our thoughts aren't always true. It helps us spot our own hidden patterns. It makes us more resilient. And it grounds us in the present moment. Let's break those down. Okay, so this is how most of us operate by default, right? Something happens, stimulus like a worrying thought, and bam, we have an instant emotional reaction. We get anxious, we get defensive, we try to numb out. It's this automatic, totally unconscious chain reaction. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. Self-observation introduces this tiny but incredibly powerful thing: a bit of space. A pause between the thing that happens and how you react. And in that little bit of space, that's where you find your power. You can see the worry, acknowledge it, and then choose a better response instead of just being dragged along by it.
And wow, this is a total game changer. When you really get this, everything changes. You start to realize that your thoughts aren't facts. They're not commands from headquarters. They're just mental weather, little clouds passing through your mind. You don't have to believe every single one of them.
And the more you practice this observation thing, you start to see the code your brain is running on autopilot. You notice that inner critic that pipes up whenever you face a challenge, or you see that urge to just avoid a tough conversation. Seeing these unconscious patterns is the absolute first step to changing them. And this is how you build some serious emotional muscle. When you can just sit with a powerful feeling like anxiety without freaking out, you learn from your own experience that it's not going to last forever. It comes, it gets intense, and then it fades. Learning to ride those waves makes you way less afraid of them.
You know, here's a wild thought. Worry almost never, ever lives in the present moment. Think about it. It feeds on old regrets from the past or anxiety about what-ifs in the future. Self-observation is like an anchor. It pulls you right back to the here and now, which is the one place worry can't really survive.
Okay, so let's circle back to where we started, that big 90% claim. Is it for real or is it just hype? What's the reality here? So here's the deal.
The reality is, your problems don't just, poof, disappear. Life is still gonna be life. But what changes, and this is everything, is your relationship with those problems. It's not a quick fix, it's a skill you build over time. And it's not a silver bullet, but it creates the clear-headed foundation you need to actually solve your problems effectively. It resolves the suffering around the problem.
So, yeah, instead of a magic wand, it's way more helpful to think of this as building your own personal toolkit for your inner world, a set of practical skills that will serve you for your entire life.
So what exactly is in this toolkit you're building? Well, first you get clarity to actually see what's going on inside your head. You get agency, which is the power to choose how you respond. You get resilience to handle life's ups and downs. You get wisdom to finally break free from those old, unhelpful habits. And maybe best of all, you get presence, the ability to actually find some peace and contentment in your life right here, right now. So, look, while that 90% number might be more of a feeling than a hard fact, the power behind the idea is absolutely real. This practice gives you the tools to fundamentally transform how you relate to worry. Which really just leaves one final thought. As you think about all this, what part of self-observation seems the most challenging to you? Or what part makes you the most curious? Because that's usually the perfect place to start.